Hey everyone and welcome back. Today we're doing a smoky eye tutorial and it's this that I'm wearing right now. It's a really nice gold smoky eye. I was going to call this a prom tutorial but I don't know whether you think it's a bit too much for prom or not. I'm not sure, so I don't actually know what I'm going to call it yet, but it's a nice gold smoky eye for a night out or anything like that. So I really hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you do down in the comments below, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up as well and subscribe, and if you want to see how we got this whole face then keep watching. So brows are already done and we're going to be doing eyes first today. So I'm starting with this concealer to prime. This is the eye eraser or the eraser eye from Maybelline, and I've used this concealer for ages and I finally recently picked up a new one. So I'm going to take it on a flat brush and start by sort of carving out the brow. And if they're not amazingly neat it doesn't really matter because I can go over them later anyway. And then I'm just going to take this all over my lid. And then for eyeshadows today, I'm going to use the Zoeva Cocoa Blend palette, which is one of my favourites. And I'm going to start with Bitter Start, which is this really light shade. And I'm going to use that to set the concealer. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is Substitute for Love, which is this sort of orangey brown. And I'm just using a Morphe 441 brush. And I'm using this as my transition shade. And this is one of the reasons why I like doing eyes first, because I feel like it doesn't really matter if I'm a little bit messy, which I usually am. I'm building this up until it's quite pigmented. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of Frappe from Geek, and I don't want this to be too red in tone, I don't think, so this one is quite neutral. So again, I'm just going into the crease. And the darker shades that I put on, I go lower, so the more darker that I go, the lower I go into the crease. And then that way you get a nice like variation from dark to light. I'm also going on the outer lid with this as well now. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Freshly Toasted. This is quite red, so I don't want a lot of this. I'm just going to stick this on the outer lid and into the crease a little bit. These are definitely like my go-to browns when I'm doing like a gold smoky eye. Warmer browns do suit my eyes better because I have got like warm hair, so they definitely do work better, but I don't want it too red today. Next I'm going in with Americano from Geek, and I love this because it's sort of almost like a berry colour, but it's not, it's still brown. So I'm going to take this on a smaller brush this time, and again on the outer part of the lid and into the crease, only on the outer corner this time. And then just taking my fluffier one and just blending those all out. And if you need to re-dip into the other shadows that you've used to help blend this out, absolutely do that, because it does help sometimes if you have got a harsh line. Instead of just using your brush with no product on, it does help just to add a little bit more to blend that out. And then again I'm adding more Americano because I do want it to be quite deep in this outer crease, so I'm just pushing it in and blending it backward and forward. And then you can see when I close my eye it's quite a harsh line, so I'm going to go back in and blend that out. And then I don't usually wear black eyeshadow on my eyes, but I'm going to go in with a little bit of Being So White because this black isn't too black, it's more on like a greyish black, so I think it'll be okay. Again, I'm just taking that same brush we used for Americano, and I'm just kind of applying this over the top with a light hand. Mainly on this outer part of the lid where I want it to be most dark. And again, just taking that same brush and blending. I am always really rubbish as well for using the same brushes like throughout the whole thing. So if you feel like switching to an completely clean brush, then definitely do that. I am just lazy, so don't feel like you've got to use like the same dirty brush for the whole thing. Looking nice and smoky, I'm going to go in with my lid colour, and that is going to be this gold shade here, which is called Pure Ganache, and this is my favourite gold shadow of all time. I want this to be really nice and metallic, so I'm just taking a flat brush and I'm going to spray some Fix Plus on there. And then I'm going to pat this all over my lid. Definitely a really good trick to wet your brush first. It does just make the eyeshadow, especially if it's shimmery, a lot more like foil looking. And to try and blend those two in, I'm just taking this brush that we've been using and it's got no excess product on there. I'm just going to gently sort of tap over the centre. You can always take a lighter transition shade that you've been using, so I'm going to take the Substitute for Love. And now I've done the majority of my eyeshadow, I can take a wipe and just wipe away any fallout. It's your chance now as well to just sharpen this line, so you can angle it which any way you like. I'm going to take mine out this way today. Usually I would angle it up more towards my brow, but I'm feeling that kind of look today. Okay, moving on to eyeliner, I'm using the Maybelline Flat Eyeliner, which I always use, and it should be fairly easy because we can just follow this line. Okay, so wings are on, and I think I'm going to leave the eyes there for now and do the rest of my face and then finish them off at the end. So for foundation, I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear. And I'm giving it a good shake because I haven't used this for ages. Also don't like that it doesn't come with a pump either, so I'm already messy enough as it is and I usually tend to spill this everywhere. I'm just going to use my beauty blender and I'm just going to dab it straight on today. I'm just going for it today. I did fake tan last night, so maybe a little bit too pale. For concealer, I'm going to use the same one that I used to prime my eyes with. And I don't 100% like the applicator. I know some people take the sponge off, but again, I'm very lazy. But I do really like this concealer. The one that I'm using is in the shade, I think it's the lightest one, does it say? Yeah, it's in the shade Light. I was thinking that maybe this would be a little bit too pink for me, but it's actually quite yellow undertoned, so I've not used it for ages and I couldn't remember which shade that I used to get. So I just played it safe and went for Light. And then to set that all in place, of course, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I like to use a sponge for all my concealed areas. And then I'll just use a brush for the rest of my face. I am looking a little bit ghostly now, so I'm going to use the Decay Beach Bronzer in Bronze to start warming up my face. I'm going to do a tiny bit of contour using my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and I'm just keeping it right at the back here because that bronzer that we've already put on has sort of given us a little contour. I'm going to attempt to use some of this bronzer. I picked this up yesterday. It's by W7 and it looks a little bit like the Hoola bronzer, but it's just a little bit darker, so to finish off the eyes, I'm going in with a little bit of Americano just to make sure this outer area is really nice and dark. And then I'm going to line the waterlines with this pencil. This is a black one from Rimmel. It says it's an Exaggerate Waterproof Eye Diviner. To smudge that out, I'm going to take a pencil brush and I'm going to use this shade here, which is called Subtle Blend. And it's a really nice sort of bronzy gold. It's literally impossible not to make stupid faces when I'm doing this. And then to finish the eyes, I've just done mascara and lashes, and I've used the Benefit They're Real mascara, and then I've used the House of Lashes Iconics. For highlighter, I'm going to use Gilded Honey by L'Oreal. Also going to pop that in here as well. And the brow bone. And then finally for lips, I'm going to line them with MAC's Whirl Lip Pencil. And then for lipstick, I'm going to use this one from Gerard Cosmetics in the shade Buttercup. So that completes this gold smoky eye tutorial, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did down in the comments below, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up as well and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye!